Good evening and welcome to episode number 35 of the All Things Sports Podcast. Audio listeners, please skip to 5 minutes into our show to skip our live stream intro. All right, hello and welcome to episode number 35 of the All Things Sports Podcast. My name is Zach Bischoff, and this dude over here is. All right, let's try that again. This dude over here is.
Take two. Danny Shanholzer.
All right, thank you much. And today we're going to, as we're glad to be back, on Election Day Eve for at least those of us that reside in the state of Pennsylvania here. So um, today we have a lot to cover in not a lot of time. So, as I refer to my script here, we will first talk about obviously the World Series was won, unfortunately, by the Houston Astros by a score of 4 games to 2. Danny, your thoughts on the World Series and your thoughts on also Dusty Baker, who is the Houston manager. He is 73 years old, and he is now the oldest manager to ever win a World Series.
Yeah, Zach. Obviously, many baseball fans, are very, very, very disappointed that the Astros got it done over the Philadelphia Phillies. Because they are forced to recognize the Astros as world champions even after the 2017 cheating scandal. But you know what? A lot of players on that team are not are not there currently, although there's still some overlap. And the Astros as a whole are just a very, very disliked team. And I, for one, wanted the Phillies to win, although I knew the Astros were probably going to win, just because of their pitching depth, man. I mean, I just think from just up and down the lineup too, they just were really solid. I mean, a rookie won the MVP there, Jeremy Pena, I believe. I believe
Yeah,
only the third rookie in history, Zach, to win a World Series MVP. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, Zach, I mean, obviously, for guys like Dusty Baker and Justin Verlander, it's been a long time coming. They've been around the game for a while here, and they got it done here, and I mean they had the fight to do it too, Zach. I mean they won three in a row, I believe, to be. I mean, so that's impressive, man. I mean, especially too, like you know, they were down in Game 6, I believe to start off, and then Jordan Alvarez had a huge 3-run homer that helped them get to a 4-1 victory there. But Jack, and I'm curious to hear, and I think this is what is going to be criticized in Philadelphia media for a long time coming here. I mean, obviously, after the fact, you can't do much about it. But I don't know if you saw a pitcher. I don't recall his name, but he was brought in to face Yordan Alvarez, and Yordan Alvarez hit that 3-run shot. So that is just, I mean, that's got to be such a tough pill for the manager and that pitcher specifically to swallow there. I mean, that just shows like playoff baseball, man. There's not a ton of margin for error, man. I mean,
nope.
it's intense, and I love the strategy behind everything. So yeah, I mean, I'm not very happy, but again, the Astros are not flukes, man. They're the real deal, and there's a reason why they've been so consistent throughout these past few years here. So curious to hear your thoughts, eBay.
Yeah, I am very sad about. Oh, hang on a minute. We got to getting feedback. So I'm gonna turn that on. And here's better. Okay, so we apologize for that. I don't know why I was getting feedback. I think that was Danny's microphone. He's always messing something up. Anyway, yeah, I think I'm not very happy that Houston won the World Series. I mean, I wanted the Phillies to win, although as a Pittsburgh resident, it pains me to root for anything Philly. but I don't like the Astros. I hate the Astros more than I hate the Phillies. So, and I don't hate the Phillies per se, but I strongly dislike the city of Philadelphia and the Flyers and 76ers. I don't mind. They're actually kind of good, but yeah, I'm not very happy. I mean, the Phillies, I mean, they put up a good fight. They didn't get swept here, so it was only 4-2 or 3-2 in the series, and then they just were not able to get it done to force a game number 7. All right, next we're going to talk about the Pens. What the heck is happening with the Pens right now, Daniel? Your thoughts on their last game versus the Kraken, and what do they need to do to right the ship? Although there were some they did play better during the last game here. So I'm curious to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, Zach. I really don't know quite what's going on here. I mean, we're 0-6-1 in our last 7 games here, Zach. You know, you don't have to be a mathematician or a statistician to realize that's not very good.
Which
And I
neither
think
of us are. Neither of us are, for the record.
yeah. I mean, I just think I saw a quote from Brian Rust earlier today, and it just said, like he just said, I guess he asked like, what's the issue here? Like, why are you guys struggling? And he said, I just don't think we're quite on the same page collectively here, and I completely agree with that. Just from what I've seen when we're playing, I mean, I just our special teams play, I feel like it is really what's separating us from not being like from losing these games here, Zach. It's because you know we were 0 for 3 against the Kraken on power play opportunities, man. I mean, we have not been good in this past stretch on power plays here, and I mean we just can't. I feel like we got to simplify things. You know what I mean, Zach? Because I feel like, and this might seem like a basic answer, but like whenever we're losing, whenever a hockey team is losing, whenever any team is losing, you just gotta simplify things. So I think the Penguins have got to get more pucks than net on power play opportunities. I think we got to make sure we're solid on the penalty kill, Zach. I mean, we were against the Kraken, so that's a positive, but we haven't been in this past stretch here. So I just think I think that I think we also got to I think our defense has been a little suspect here. I mean, Jerry obviously played pretty well to start off the season here, but I mean he hasn't been doing that great. In this losing streak that we're on. I mean, nobody has, but I feel like we got to also limit the number of shots that we're. I mean, we're giving up a lot of shots, Zach. I think that's part of the problem too.
Yeah, we are. It seems we are giving up a lot of shots here, and it's not a good rest yet. I mean, the schedule doesn't get any easier. I mean, I think it's at Washington on Wednesday, and I think at Toronto on Friday, I believe. And then, it's the next 3 are Washington, Toronto, and Montreal, in that order. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the answer is here. I mean, we just gotta. I mean, yes, there were more bright spots in the Penguins game against the Kraken there, but they were not. They got the first goal in a lot of these games down this last stretch here, so they just got to keep protecting leads, and I think that's the key is to play really good defense. And I don't know if you're going to assist, but Brian Dumoulin, as of late, has not been playing good.
No,
he's not. Yes. So we hope that the Penguins will right the ship and we'll get a win here soon. All right. Now,
Zach, I got a question for you. Man.
Yes.
If I honestly, and it pains me to say this, Zach, and I might be making be hitting the panic button too. I do not think we are a lock on the playoffs after this
Wrong,
recent
wrong, wrong,
stretch here.
wrong, 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 wrong.
Okay. Now let me ask you this, Zach. Okay, let's say, I mean, you're being the optimist here, and I applaud you for that. Okay, let's say we make the playoffs, but yet again
Yes.
we lose in the first round. Do you think it is then time for us to move on from Mike Sullivan,
No.
or what do you think is the next
No.
steps after that?
It's interesting. Well,
So
I
what's the
think
next step?
we gotta we gotta be active this trade deadline. I think the Pens are locked to the playoffs because I am, like as we said, I am 19 years old and I have never seen a Penguins team do this bad. Well, the last time they did was in '06 and I was 3 years old. Crosby's rookie year. All right. Now, yeah, that's I don't think the Pens are going to miss the playoffs. They have clinched it 16 straight years, and I don't think that's going to stop. Now, the Pens have had rough edges in their seasons. Like they kept the story of their season. I think it was last year or was it the COVID season that they kept going down early in games and they ended up coming back. So I think the Pens will once they break it open. I think that'll right the ship here. So Steelers obviously this week they're today this week was the bye week.
I hope you're.
I'm sorry.
I said I hope you're right, Zach.
Yes. The camera seems to be having a little bit of an issue, but we will just proceed onward. So the the Steelers are on the bye this week. They will play the Saints next. I believe that is on the 13th, I believe. So Danny, your thoughts on the Steelers currently sit at 2-6. They are down at the bottom of their division and most likely near the bottom of the league overall. Danny, your thoughts on the first half here and your predictions for the second half.
Yeah, Zach. You know, I think a lot of obviously, for those of you that follow the Steelers, for those of you that keep up with the NFL, the first half of the season has not been great. Okay, we're sitting at 2-6, as you said, Jack. But I think a lot will depend, and I've been hearing this all over. Kind of seems to be kind of the case here. That everybody's kind of thinking similarly. I think a lot of how the rest of the season goes will be determined when we play the Saints. Because I think if we win that game, right, we still might be able to, let's say, maybe sneak in at like 9-8, maybe. I think that would be. Yeah, maybe. I mean, obviously, we kind of dug ourselves in a hole, but I think if we go 2-7, yeah, if we go 2-7, then I think the focus becomes on, okay, I'm not rooting for wins anymore. I'm rooting for a good pick in the draft here, because I think the worst case scenario, Zach, because I feel like obviously we all like the goal is the Super Bowl, obviously, but that is very far away right now. But
yes, very far.
But I think the worst case scenario, Zach, is if we go 7-10 or something like that, because that's just, I mean, we will get a mediocre draft pick. We will, and then we're just not. I hope that does not happen. You know what I mean? And I just think, I was thinking about this earlier, right? So I don't know. For those of you that watch the NFL a lot and keep up with the NFL. Indianapolis just fired their head coach, Frank Reich. The Colts are 3-5-1, I believe, currently. So obviously they're not getting it done. But the Colts, this guy has a winning record, Jack. They fired him off of one bad year. That just shows how different everything is for the Steelers here. And I mean, I don't think it's time to fire Tomlin. I'm not going to say that. But I just think
it's not time. It's not time for that. That's never going to happen.
No, but I was talking more about the offensive coordinator because I think if this season keeps going the way it is, I think we gotta move on with from Matt Canada. But I just think it's just so interesting to me that how just different teams manage things because you got a guy like Frank Reich. Look, he hasn't had I think he still has a winning record. I'm not 100% sure on that. But the Colts, right? They just they run things differently than the Steelers do. So I think again a lot will depend on how this week goes against New Orleans here. But I also think that if we continue to go where we're going and we continue to really struggle, I think we got to really look in the mirror here and kind of we got to almost like change our philosophy here a little bit because it's always been the Steeler way. Well, if the Steeler way is not working, then maybe we should apply a different way of thinking. Just something to think about. What do you think,
Yeah.
Zach?
Yeah, and like Tom, he's asked in every press conference about any changes to the coaching staff, things of that nature, and he says, and he's like, we're open to doing what's right, and for us, and to keep what we know, keep that type of thing. So, and then he says, Matt Canada, are any changes to the coaching staff? And his answer was, quote, no. So it's interesting just to say that he is that he's saying, oh, we're open to doing what's right, but obviously to me and to you and to the rest of the city, the thing that is right in this situation is a change at the offensive coordinator position.
Mm-hmm.
And Denny, just briefly, your thoughts on Kenny Pickett and his seemingly struggles the last couple of games here.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, young quarterbacks kind of get they're going to have some bumps in the road. I said this again. I feel like I sound like a broken record on this podcast here, but I think that I mean the Eagles defense, for example, is a lot different than the defense of even Wake Forest, a good ACC team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think that Kenny Pickett, I feel like sometimes, and I think that Kenny Pickett is not necessarily seeing, the right receivers when they're open. I think that what Matt Cannon's got to do, and I recognize he's in a tough spot. Like our offense, I like the Chase Claypool move. I do like that because we got a second rounder out of that. But our offense, like when you got a rookie quarterback, it is hard to make a game plan that because you want to make him comfortable, but you do realize that it can't be so simple because NFL defenses will snap that out in a hurry. So I think Matt Cannon has been trying to kind of balance that. I just think I would like to see more running. Honestly, I would like to see. Look, if Najee Harris is not the answer, then give the ball more to Jaylen Warren because anytime Jaylen Warren touches the ball, Zach, positive things come of it. You know what I mean? I think that we gotta stay. So many times we've tried to get all cute on first down. Try to do this weird play. We end up losing 3 yards. All of a sudden, it's 2nd and 13. We get a 3-yard run, and all of a sudden, it's 3rd and 10. Like,
right.
A rookie quarterback should not be expected to win, like to convert every 3rd and 10. Like, it's hard. The Buccaneers are 1 for 31 on third downs longer than 10 yards or so. Like, how is that? Like, I know that Kenny Pickett. I know that being a quarterback in the NFL is a hard job. I recognize that.
It is.
But like we gotta give this guy a little bit of a break here. I mean I don't think it's realistic to allow him to expect him to convert all these when you're getting him in tough situations you can't expect them to help you get out of all those tough situations that you're creating. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Also, Zach. What a thing on the defense, Zach. So obviously we get T.J. Watt back this week, right?
Yes.
Um, if we do not win against the Saints, I think that we should shut T.J. Watt down for a season. What do you think about that?
Well, what's the? I mean, here, I don't. Pretty personally, I don't see the benefit to that. I mean, you need it, and we also keep saying about the spark. I feel like TJ Watt could be the spark for this team. I mean, he's been gone most of the year already, and well, half the year. But I think he could be the spark to that team, to the team. So maybe he will turn around. So short answer is no.
Okay. That's definitely I just because of his injury, right? Because of how early he got injured, I would hesitate. Like you said, Jack. I mean, I think you make a great point there. I would just hesitate to basically don't rush him back when we're obviously like out of like if we win against New Orleans, I think that the whole conversation changes because I think like we can be. I gotta look at our schedule, but we still have a lot of AFC North football to play.
Yeah, a lot of football in the kitchen. As Mike Collins says.
Right, exactly, Zach. Exactly. So
yes,
yeah, man, we'll see.
All right, and it'll be interesting to watch the Monday night game tonight. It is the New Orleans Saints and the Baltimore Ravens in New Orleans. That game is getting underway in just over 15 minutes from now if you're watching live. And Pitt basketball, while we're talking about Pitt basketball, it's currently up 37-24 on, let's see here, Tennessee Martin, thank you.
Yeah.
Virginia, your thoughts on a prediction for Pitt season, Pitt basketball season, rather, and what you think is going to happen in that department. And I hear you're very optimistic about Pitt basketball this year.
Yeah, Zach, I am optimistic, and let me tell you why, Zach. Because I know.
Here's the problem. Isn't half the team like felons? Like, I feel like like a lot of Pitt basketball players right now are in legal trouble.
I mean,
Dyer Johnson and a couple others. I mean, I saw there was a football player that was arrested today, but that's beside the point. We'll talk about later. We'll talk about that in the Pitt football segment.
Yeah, I mean, on the court, right? I'm not exactly sure what's all going on outside of the 200-foot basketball court. But yeah, I mean, the reason why I am optimistic, Zach, is because, I think John Hughley last year was a beast, man. He was a beast in the ACC as a sophomore too. So hopefully, I think he's going to have another big year. But we got some transfers that can play, man. We got a guy from a guard transfer from Colgate, I think. Nelly Cummins, I think his name is. That hopefully, I was listening to a little bit of like feedback on the exhibition games. Hopefully, he seems like a pretty good shooter, because I think the problem in the past has been I think the problem last year, especially was we didn't have an outside shooting threat. So John Hughley, as good as he was sometimes limited because smart teams make adjustments and they realize, okay, John Hughley's really good, but their offense is John Hughley. We don't have a shooting threat, And I saw that in the exhibition game versus Edinburgh, I believe we started 2 for 11 from three-point land, which is not great, but we finished 13 for 21. Okay, so I am encouraged by that because not only does that shows me two things, right? That shows me that we're willing to take 3-pointers, and that we're still trusting that also, Zach. We're still trusting the fact that, okay, We might not be able to make this all the time, but I'm gonna still trust that we can make it some of the time. And once you make teams respect that you can shoot the three, they're gonna have to respect that. So hopefully, if our guards can shoot the three well, if John Hughley can do what he does, rebound, defend, score, do all those three things, then I think. I mean, I don't think we're gonna be world beaters. I don't think we're gonna be North Carolina coming off their national championship performance. But
Yeah, no.
I think that we might have more wins than losses. I think that we might win more than we lose. We might not get blown out or not have a win in the ACC as opposed to the Kevin Stelling's era. What say you, Zach?
Well, I think we could be in the NIT. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what Pitt's schedule looks like. I'll have to do some research into that later. But yeah, I feel like I don't really watch much Pitt basketball anymore. I didn't watch much last season because mostly I was, on the ice during games and such. But now I have a little more time because I'm still off the ice and I'm still recovering from my jaw surgery, and that is going very, very, very well. I don't look as creepy as I usually do. So, and Danny saw me, I believe, on day number 1, I believe, of my recovery. So, he knows what I looked like before.
You're always looking good, Jack. You're always looking good, buddy.
Well, not when I first called you. Anyway, so obviously you have Pitt winning, Pitt football now winning. Let me find that.
I think it was 19-9. Was it
19-9 against Syracuse? That snaps their what was it? 3-game winning streak.
Something like that, yeah.
And your thoughts on Pitt without the services of star running back Israel Abanikanda?
Yeah, Zach. I think that Pitt's sitting at 5-4 now. I believe. I think we almost. I don't want to sound pessimistic. I've been very pessimistic this episode, but I think we almost overestimated how good Pitt would be when losing Kenny Pickett, because we were thinking, oh, this guy's from USC, Keaton Slovis, he's going to be the real deal. He hasn't been great. And I think I think that almost. I think, again, filling Kenny Pickett's shoes, I mean, he's obviously starting for the Steelers now. I think that was a big ask for him, and I think that people expected him to be Kenny Pickett 2.0. Now, Kenny Pickett is very, very good, and there was a reason why he broke there's a reason why he has more passing yards than Dan Marino in Pitt football history. It's because he's very good, right? But I was encouraged, Jack. I watched a little bit of that game. I was very encouraged by the defense, man. I think our defense really stepped up. I mean, obviously, holding Syracuse to 9 points is a positive, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, Syracuse is ranked number 20. So just in terms of bowl resume stuff, I mean, that looks pretty good.
Oh, they got Pitt, I believe.
Well,
I think Pitt don't need
one
more win to officially become bowl eligible. Any of your thoughts on? I forgot where I was going with that. So
just the thoughts on the thoughts on. Were you saying thoughts regarding the last 3 games of the season?
Yeah, and talk about the remaining schedule and your picks.
Let me see here. Okay. I know we have Miami's going to be tough. So I'm not sure. I mean, I think I think that we've realized our identity here. I think that we're a gritty team. That doesn't always win pretty. But it's always gonna stay close and hang on to these games. So I definitely think we'll win one of the 3 here. Let me pull this football schedule here. I don't have this. Let me see here. Sorry about that.
I did kind of start that on you, so that's on me.
No, Zach, you're right, man. You're right. Here we go.
We have Virginia next. EVA. Yes, that's Virginia.
I,
And then I
I
do
think they
not
will beat
have.
Virginia. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean we should put the schedule right. All right, so the in this order, the schedule is at Virginia, at home versus Duke. I think those two are going to be wins, and I'm going to predict we will lose to Miami to finish out the regular season. Any of your thoughts?
I yeah I agree with that, Jack. I mean, I think that I haven't watched a ton of Miami, but they're always pretty tough there. But I think I know that I almost sound like a pessimistic Pitt fan. I just feel like last year we got a little bit too comfortable with being very good. You know what I mean? Like I
Yes,
just think
yes, yes, yes,
this
yes.
year was a very good year. I think that again, I think next year might be more of the same too. Just because I don't see what we're doing to separate ourselves from HTC competition, Zach.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I think. I mean, Duke. I mean, we should. I think, if I'm remembering correctly, we beat Duke last year. Um, I think we should beat them again. And Miami of Florida, we should mention that. I think we will. I mean, I think we gave them a run for their money until the end, if I'm remembering correctly. But I think that we will ultimately lose that game. I'm going to say by a field goal. I'm not going to give
Mm-hmm.
sort of figures as of yet, but um, I say we're going to lose that game by about 3 points. All right. One more little NBA topic here, and then we will talk about what is coming up with the World Cup and our plans for that. All right. World Cup. Or no, wait. Get ahead of myself. All right. So, um, the NBA, the Milwaukee Bucks are 9-0 now. I believe they play tonight in Atlanta. Um, and
Woo!
I believe they are starting in a couple of moments here. So we're going to wrap it up here pretty soon. So, Jimmy, your thoughts on just any developing stories, any topics of interest from the NBA side of things? And just your thoughts on the
Yeah,
Bucks
Zach.
starting on and up.
I mean, 9-0, man. Again, it's a long season, right? There's 82 games for a reason, but I do not see a team, as talented as the Bucks. Bro. I think that Giannis, he is very very good. He's a very very good basketball
Very.
player. Breaking
They
news,
call him
but
they call him the Greek Freak for a reason.
but yeah, man. I think that the Lakers still got to figure stuff out, man. I mean, they have been
Yeah,
abysmal as of late. But
yeah.
yeah, man, I think another. But I just think again, it's a long season here. I think the biggest stories are going to be like how do teams gel down the stretch? 'Cause I think that's what makes the biggest difference here. Um, I have not watched a ton of NBA, and Zach and I have kind of switched roles here. Zach is now more of the NBA guru than I am. So, what are your thoughts on the NBA currently, Zach?
I'm trying to find the Bucks last couple of games. They're 22. Oh, wait. That was preseason. Where's the regular season?
So I didn't mean to.
Um,
I didn't mean to throw it there to you, but
I know. But the Bucks. I mean, the thing with Giannis is that well, most of the team is that Giannis inside is dominant in the post and in the paint and everything, and he is lethal from 3 point range. Now he has had some trouble with the charity stripe, but he's able to rebound from that. He missed a game due to injury the other night. I believe it was against the Pistons, and I have not watched the last 2 games. I will watch the recaps of those as time permits. But I think the Bucks. I think that they're going to. I'm going to say right now. I think they're going to win championship. I think they're going. You heard it here first. I think the Milwaukee Bucks are going to win the NBA championship this year. Any of your
I
thoughts?
I tend to. Go ahead. No, yeah,
Some
I
good
tend to
spots.
agree with you, Jack. Just another thing too, and I mean, obviously, we've been very complimentary of the Bucks here. I again, I said this last time, I believe. I think a team that's going to challenge them. I think a team that's going to challenge them in the East is the Heat, man. I think they're kind of like similar. I think Tyler Hero is going to have a big year here. I think Bam Adebayo is obviously very very strong.
Yeah.
Jimmy Butler. But I again I there's 82 games, so obviously But when you start 9-0, man, you're a pretty good basketball team, and I think what they might do, Zach, and I mean we'll be curious to hear. I'll be interested to see how they manage this. I think what they might do, Zach, is after they get such a big lead, they might be able to cruise kind of until the playoffs, so that way they can rest some of their better players. So
Yeah.
that they be like they're fresher. So
Mm.
you
And
know,
here's
I
oh,
think I think the more
good.
things change, the more things stay the same. And I know I've been kind of talking in circles here for a little bit, but I just think again, I think that in this day and age, it's a super surgeon lead. So obviously, Giannis, is at the top of the mountain right now. So yeah, man.
Yeah, I'll read your thoughts on this, Dan. Is I think a team that will challenge them in the East. If we just talk about the East, the Hawks.
The
I'll be
Hawks.
curious. The Hawks, yeah. I'll be curious to. I mean, they won. I think that game came out of the wire last game, so I think they play again tonight. I'll be curious to watch
The
that.
Hawks are a
So
good young team, man.
yeah, they are Trey Young. I mean, obviously, it goes without saying that that Trey Young is very, very, very good. So and a lot of that Hawks team is lethal from beyond the arc, man. It's something to see,
Yeah,
man.
and I think that like
Good.
no, I'm sorry, just we gotta but
Yeah,
my
yeah.
bad on
We're
that.
going on 45 here, so we gotta
No, I mean it's
we
cool. I
gotta.
just don't want to. I mean
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know
I know.
anyway.
I know.
I think when you got a team full of shooters, it's hard to know, especially in the NBA, who to guard because everybody's really really strong. And I think too, Zach. I think a big thing too is like a couple years ago, or I don't know when it was. I think a couple years ago, like 2 years ago or something, the Hawks made a run to the Eastern Conference Finals when nobody really expected them to, and that was when Trey Young was 2 years younger. That was when they were still a very young team. I think what's happening is all these guys, are developing into really really strong players here. So I didn't think that's a compliment to the Hawks uh, player development staff. I think it's just cool to see the evolution of those players. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So all right, now that is all for all the topics that we had planned. Now, the World Cup. It is a World Cup year this year in soccer. So the plan is that starts the 20th of November. That will be held in Qatar. So we will be doing a live World Cup preview show. I believe we're going to do that on the. Let's see here. Let me look at the calendar here. So I think we are going to do a preview show on the Saturday the 19th, November the 19th, at a date or at a time to be determined. I think we will just go through all the qualifying nations and our picks for the and who we think is going to players to watch, countries to watch, and we are just going to talk about the a tournament that happens once every 4 years. I read the stat that this tournament is being held in November because Qatar is gets very 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 hot in the summer, so that's why they usually hold this in uh, July or something like that. But they do not because it gets hot over there in Qatar. All right. So look out for that on the 19th. Also, Sled Hockey Stories episode number 3 will be airing at some point. Let's see. Some point, probably within the next week or two here. So look out for that. Again, that is audio only. All right, I think we are done talking. As we've been talking for about 45 minutes, now, and we thank the one viewer on Twitch out there that has been with us since the open here. So, and we didn't mean to go on for 45 minutes, but that's just sometimes how things happen. Danny,
Sure.
any final thoughts for the people?
Nah, man. Yeah, man. I always enjoy doing this here. To our one viewer on Twitch, before we end here, if you have any questions, any topics that you would like to be discussed further, we encourage. You know, we want to engage with y'all. So yeah,
Yes.
man. But yeah, I mean, just always enjoy GB. Always
So
enjoy.
let's take a moment to reflect. This is the 35th episode of the All Things Sports podcast. Can you believe we are at 35 episodes
Man,
already?
man, Zach. I mean,
Yes. We started this back in May 6th was the first day that May 6th, 2022 is when was our first, we published our first episode, and now 358 downloads later, we are where we are now. All
it's
right,
one ride, huh?
that's going to do it for us, and we'll look forward to seeing you all again very, very soon. And until then,
Bye for now.
thank you.